ละสลาย
Stream time Maxpo happy.
Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hi. Welcome to Mac's stream, where there is no more Christmas spirit. Oh, damn it. I thought that would turn it off. Fuck. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mac's stream, where today, Max... So, like, you know when MSQ, when MSQ happened, you know how I said that I would keep it, I'd keep it all, up to date. So Mr. Selk turned up. And then Mr. Fandaniel, but before Fandaniel showed up. And also Venat showed up. And also Hythlodaeus showed up. And when Mr. Selk turned up, let's just say I cried so hard that I nearly threw up. From both, like, excitement, but also grief. And also from just how much I want to kiss Hythlodaeus. He's very pretty. And I don't know why they did it like that. I couldn't tell you why do they make Hythlodaeus like the God's perfect femboy? I don't understand it. It's just, my man's is God's perfect femboy, and I hate it. Ah! No! You're ugly! Leave me alone! Yeah! Imagine dying before I can even finish my combo, you rude bastard. Anyway. So yeah, they're all college roommates, which is also another thing that I really enjoy. I like that everyone, like, Hythlodaeus, Azim, and Emet-Selk are all college roommates. I kind of I'm in love with that a little bit. They have a great vibe, and they're also definitely a throuple. Yeah, honestly, I have a lot of feelings about the world unsundered, about Elpis. I got a lot of feelings about it. I got a lot of feelings about how this place makes me feel. And that is to say that, yeah. It's like, you know what? I kind of get it. I kind of get it, Emmett. I kind of get why you wanted to destroy everything to get this back. Because this place is beautiful.
OMG, yes, I love
This place is really something else. What fucking shader is this? This is so bright. Sheesh. Maybe that's just how this place is. It's just so bright. It's like, without shader, it's really bright. With shader, it's even brighter. Ugh. Thank you, Kaggle for 5 months. Thank you so much. And also, thank you, Quinn, for 20 months. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've just kind of, like, wandered around for a little bit. The furthest I got with this, like, it was literally, like, 2 AM by the time I like, managed to pry myself away from this part. So, yeah. So I got to this part where he's like, I'm gonna turn into a dragon. You know, where Hermes is like, I'm gonna turn into a dragon. And it's like, good for you. Also, I would die for Meteon. I would kill, die, maim, and live. Most importantly, I would live for Meteon. I love her. She's a baby. She's my little fucking child. She's my best friend. She is my best friend. Anyway, hello, you. Oh. Why'd they make you look like that, though? Oh, God. I'm sorry. Hey. Get real close. Mwah. Look at him. He's so beautiful. And for what? Ah. Emmett Selk is out of sight. Good, let's speak of the plan. It's a stroke of genius, really. We have Emmett Selk train the Carabids. Aside from being able to fly untransformed, he can readily see aether currents. And with his adept spellcraft, he can also employ suitable wind magics to guide the creature along. While he is indeed incapable of all you described, it is not his duty. I am loath to trouble him with it. Don't be. As I mentioned, it would be also for his own sake. With that settled, let's begin at once. Belrali, I want you to go to Emmett Selk. Tell him that you have a favor to ask. He will be disinclined to cooperate at first, but you mustn't be discouraged. With our friend, the trick is to be unflaggingly persistent. Off you go now, and good luck. Oh, God. Okay. I have to go talk to Emmett Selk. Anyway. Oh yeah, also I had taken off the robe. I'd taken off the disguise so as to not accidentally spoil people when I was back in the FC house. But just look, it's ah. Also, I love these guys. These guys are my favorite. I like these butterflies. They're like my butterfly, but big. Big. But yeah, I took this off to not, you know, spoil anyone who's behind me in Endwalker. Yeah, I kind of want the robe without, like, I was kind of hoping that it's like, I was like pressing all of this to be like, can I take it off? It's like, no, you can't, actually. You're not allowed. You. I have a favor to ask. God damn it. I have to spell it the American way. I spelled it with a U and it didn't work. Why isn't it working? Okay, that's what I'm doing. Wait. I have a favor to ask. There we go. Oh, no, you don't. I'm not lifting a finger. Okay. Ugh, I don't know what Hythlodaeus is up to, and I will not be made to know. I refuse. Relentless insistence may serve to wear down the ever-weary Emmett Selk. Please, Emmett Selk. Emmett Selk. Please. There we go. I said please twice. Oh my god.
No, no, no. You are not foisting this nonsense on me.
I'm given to understand you have the power to help the Charybdis, and should be quite willing to do so. And so I appeal to your better nature, most benevolent Emet-Selch. Please teach her to fly.
Or else Hermes will transform. Right now.
I love they're just like there's like, look, Emmett, you have to do this, otherwise Hermes is gonna get naked. Okay? Hermes is gonna do the Asian equivalent of getting naked. Okay?
Now, there's no need to go quite that far. Altruism is its own reward, as I'm sure he would agree.
Oh, definitely. He has a history of being very
Would
altruistic.
he now? Who contrived to put me in this position, pray tell?
Nothing so devious. I merely suggested a possible course of action.
Fucking pointing. Actually, you're cringe.
Please,
Warrior of light.
Emet-Selch. Please.
Meteon, I would die for you. He's the pointing at the cat meme. We should just have Meteon
Not come all this way
photoshopped.
to play nursemaid to your creations. I'd thank you to remember this favor and let it be the last.
Photoshop Meteon onto the cat and have him pointing. Hey, I have one of those.
I will aid it once it has taken to the air. It falls to you to shepherd it skyward.
Well, let's relax and enjoy the spectacle, shall we?
I see that Emet-Selch pre-ordered Shadowbringers.
You were wondering why Emet-Selch joined the convocation.
Was I? I don't know, I don't really remember. I was too busy vomiting.
Truth be told, he wasn't the first choice for the office. I was, on the strength of my ability to see ether. But I declined the offer. For though my vision is exceptional, I am pedestrian in all other aspects. Worse even,
That's not true. You're also very hot.
quite abysmal when it comes to manipulating ether, for example. Couldn't transform even if I had a mind to do so. What good is the ability to perceive a problem if one cannot act to address it? Emet-Selch has no such shortcomings. He excels in vision and manipulation both, the latter to an extraordinary degree. If there is a mage more powerful, I do not know of them.
Well, I mean, a level 90 black mage could probably...
Thus did I recommend him for the office in my stead. And I wasn't the only one. Far from it. Countless others vouched for his skill and character. People the world over, to whom he had previously lent a helping hand. Oh, how surprised he was. Claimed he hadn't done anything remarkable for anyone. Modest to a fault.
Emet-Selch was just like a JRPG hero. He's literally just he's just a protagonist. He's just like he's just a JRPG hero that then got super that then went down a dark path. Oh god. Emet-Selch is the he's like the He's the NPC in your campaign that, like, used to be an adventurer. Doesn't this make him, Azim, and Hythe? Yeah. Yeah. Ithildeus a JRPG party. Absolutely. It absolutely does.
He deserved every bit of acclaim he received. Yet he may well have gone unappreciated were it not for a mutual friend. A singular soul who can't help but involve herself in the business of others. Where she walks, excitement is certain to follow.
Cool motive, Jin. Still murder. Like, yes, it's still a dark path. You can have noble intentions and still do bad shit. My man's literally tried to kill everybody. Like, my man's literally tried to enact the end of the world so that he could have his home back. Which, cool motive, still dark, I think. Like, still a dark path. Did you know that there are characters you can like and be sympathetic towards and still admit that they did things wrong? Still admit that they did a few wrong things. Man's literally lived long enough to become the villain. Exactly. Exactly. And to me, that makes, like, whatever redemption arc that we have for him more interesting. It's more interesting to me if he actually did do some bad shit. I don't really know why people want to excuse him all the time. Yeah, it's like the fact that he did, like, heinous things makes it more interesting when he realizes he was wrong. Or realizes that, like, he has to just let go. Emmett Selk is a character that was driven mad by grief. Like, by the end, and even then, he's, like, not really an antagonist in Shadowbringers until, like, the last few levels. He's absolutely a tragic villain. People would say that he isn't a villain, and it's like, well, not anymore. He's not really a villain anymore. He was for, like, even in most of Shadowbringers, he wasn't really much of, like, an antagonist. You know? He was actually, like, I mean, everything that he was doing was, like, to his own machinations, but, like, he was, you know, he was both, he was, you know, villain and also ally sometimes, and also a help, and also a hindrance, and also an annoyance, and also a nuisance. You know, and also just a commentator and an observer. He occupies a lot of roles in a story. It's almost like this game has, like, good writing or something. It's almost like this game has good writing. Has anyone considered? But all of that makes it more interesting to me. All of that makes this more interesting to me because you can see exactly what drove him to do this and what drove him to do the things that he did. It doesn't excuse them, but you can see what drove him to that. Elpa Silk hasn't done anything wrong yet. He hasn't done anything wrong yet, yeah. I just wish that people were more willing to admit when their fave is problematic. No, I'm just kidding. I just wish that the conversation was less they did bad things and therefore do not deserve redemption versus they were excusable and therefore do. It's like, no. What if actually instead, yes, Emmett Selk did do some things that were wrong. You know, like trying to trying to enact the death of innocence just to get his home back, you know? At some point there's a line that you cross. But to act like you can never come back from that line is in itself reductive. Yeah. And also, you can say that, like, he wasn't totally in control of all of his actions, because there is the whole tempering thing at the end of Shadowbringers. Like, at the end of Shadowbringers, it's like, you know, he's definitely, like, he's definitely feeling some kind of way that is out of sorts. Like, it's not congruent. It's not congruent with the way he acts for the rest of the story, in my opinion. It, like, very much is like a, you know, the thing about Emmett Selk that makes it interesting to me is that he is tragic in the sense that he is a being consumed by his grief. And of course acts in ways that are unreasonable. And acts in ways that are flagrantly destructive and bad for everybody. Because he can't really process that grief. But I think, like, people take what characters, like, I think people forget sometimes that characters in fiction can lie. You know? Because, like, when Emmett Selk, in the cutscene before Amarot, I just come down to Amarot because he was just so tired and couldn't see he could see his oldest friend unless, and even if he didn't want to admit it. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that too. Because, like, he's absolutely lying when he says that that he sees absolutely nothing worth it. Like, nothing that is worth what he lost in this new world. He's fucking lying. He's absolutely lying. That is a massive lie. But he has to, and it's like a lot of real world nihilists. Like, he takes on this very nihilistic viewpoint, but like a lot of real world nihilists, he is lying mostly to himself, because an entrapment of destructive nihilism is that you end up justifying to yourself having a life that you're not happy with. Because it would be easier to just say it doesn't matter than it is to admit that you're not happy with what you've got. Like, it's a thing where people who adopt a very nihilistic viewpoint that is destructive rather than constructive, they will adopt it and swear by it, because believing that it doesn't matter is much easier than admitting to themselves that maybe they've done some shit wrong and they've put themselves in a position where they're not really happy, or they're doing something they don't really believe in. And I think that's what Emmett Selk is doing before Amarot, is that he is like, he's just so consumed by grief that by this point, admitting to himself that actually he doesn't believe that this world is worthless, admitting to himself that there is stuff worth keeping here, and that, you know, it is worth giving this world a shot, would be so hard for him that he just decides instead to lie to himself and tell himself that it doesn't matter, when he doesn't really believe that. Because it's easier. It's easier than admitting to himself that, like, everything he's done up to this point wasn't right, you know? Like, it wasn't right what he did. You know, the things he's done, the creation of an entire, like, the uplifting of an entire people just to see them crashing down in order to sow chaos. Like, yeah, if you think about Emmett in the context of like Solus, you know, Emperor Solus, it doesn't make sense the way he runs the Empire, because he runs Garlemald in a way that is very focused on cultural enrichment and allowing people to express themselves and live happily. And then once Varys takes over, that's when it becomes the very militaristic imperial conquering, rather than trying to take back what the Garleans lost. Varys then goes on to be like, we're gonna take back what we lost, and also we're gonna get our revenge for losing it on everybody else. Like, we are rising from the bottom to the top now. Like, you know, this is our world. We deserve it because we had everything taken away from us. Whereas Solus was more like enriching people and creating a society that's honestly quite beautiful. Like, fucking Euless says that actually some of the first things that were built in the city of Garlemald were the parks, because adults need places to socialize and kids need places to play. And then like, and none of that makes sense if you're just trying to sow chaos. It's like the inner conflict of Emmett Selk is present in the way in which Garlemald is designed. In the sense that there is this push and pull between like having a place that people can live happily and comfortably and be enriched and live fulfilling lives, versus this thing that was built entirely to sow chaos in order to help in his ultimate goal of bringing about the rejoining. It's like, nah, there's a lot of love and like love for the people of Garlemald that Emmett Selk has, that is present in the way in which he ran. Like, he built it, but he also has this other goal that he knows he needs to do, because otherwise he'll have to admit that his old world is gone forever. Like, otherwise he has to admit that his world, the world that he loved, the people that he loved, you know, Azim, Hythlodaeus, Hermes, they're all gone forever. And that is grief. And he can't admit that. So he's doing this like push and pull, this inner self expressed outwardly in the way in which Garlemald is designed as both a place to uplift and enrich the people that were once, you know, stripped of their homeland and stuff. And also this military machine built on Deus Ex Machina, you know, like making your emperor your god and your religion your military tactics. Like, it's incongruent. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It's almost like it's like the city was designed with two different motivations. And that's probably because it was. Now, this, like, which only goes to kind of show, which it just goes to show, like, how informed by his old life he was, because Emmett Selk, like, this is why I say he goes down a dark path, because there is still that, like, the Emmett Selk we see here, who loves his home and loves the people that he's around, even if he doesn't, you know, even if he expresses it by being an asshole. Like, you know, like, you can kind of see why he becomes so overcome with his grief just by walking around this place and seeing, like, what he had. You know, you see how much he loves it. Like, and he's a dramatic bitch who, you know, he's a real fan of melodrama. Like, Emmett Selk absolutely invented the opera in Garlemald, you know, like, no. And he is so, like, this is why I say that he's not, like, he occupies multiple roles in a story, because he is just complicated enough to do so. He's antagonistic at certain points, but he's also, like, you know, he's antagonistic at certain points, but he's also, like, in some ways he could have been heroic. Like, honestly, someone made the comparison between Emmett Selk and Ardbert earlier, and I see that, because that's, like, That makes sense. Like that makes a lot of sense. Like, that comparison makes a lot of sense. Both of them were heroes of a kind that ended up through something that wasn't really their fault, just turning down a very dark path. And now, I mean, I don't know for certain, but I still have my theory that Emmett is still alive in the present at this point. In some form or another. He's somewhere, like, he is present somewhere, even if it's not, like, in his human form. He is still around. Like, there is still, like, his essence is still alive somewhere. Mainly because of what Heidelin said about dragging Minfilia's soul and also somebody else's into the Ethereal Sea. And also the fucking Shoebill. Which, we actually see a Shoebill, and I'm not sure what the significance of it is meant to be. But we see a Shoebill here, and the Warrior of Light, like, doesn't pick up on it. It's really weird. Anyway. Let me read what he just said. Observed every bit of acclaim he received, yet he may well have gone appreciated were it not for a mutual friend. I'm assuming this is Azim.
Her antics irritate Emmett Selk to
Yep,
no
it's
end.
Azim.
But much of his grumbling stems from genuine concern. When our friend calls, he never fails to answer and lend his talents. And in the course of doing so, he himself came to be recognized and respected by those around him.
You see, like, he's, he gives a shit, This man is still, like, there even in Shadowbringers, do you know what I mean? Like, this man is not totally gone, and that's what makes him such a tragic villain, Is, like, you can still see this, like, look of genuine concern and, contentedness. You can still see, like, the man that this belongs to, even in the grief-warped version that we find out about, that we find him in Amarot and stuff. And then, like, after Amarot, it's this man that bades us we remember. Like, it's this man, It's not the fucking the grief-stricken, husk of Solus, of Emperor Solus, being shuffled around by just this weary romantic of, countless millennia that has done such awful things, all just to try to get his home back. It's like, nah, it's this guy. It's this guy who bids us remember. It's this version of Emmett Selk. Like, once we smack the fucking... Once we bash him over the head enough times for him to realize that, for him to finally come to terms with the fact that he's not getting his world back. Like, Once we bash him over the head enough that he finally realizes that, like, no, we're not giving you back, like, you cannot take... Like, I'm sorry that you lost your world, but you can't take ours. You cannot destroy ours to try to get it back, because, it's our world, like, we're people, And he's like, yeah, I know, I can't get it back. And destroying what's here now isn't going to help me get it back. At the very least, please remember that we existed. It's this guy. That's the guy that asks out of us.
They are truly remarkable individuals, and I'm proud to call them friends. To help them realize their dreams. This will be my greatest contribution to our world.
Oof.
And when they
Rough.
have fulfilled their respective purposes, so too shall I have fulfilled mine, and together we may return to the star. Look at me, spilling my innermost secrets. I can't seem to help it with you. I can only assume it is due to the color of your soul. I just don't understand how you can be so alike and yet so different.
Well done, my pet. Well done.
I love her so much. I love that she, like, she's a really smart character. Like, Meteon is a smart character and, like, you know, very well spoken, like, when she communicates the way that she's used to, but she still tries. She still really tries to, like, communicate in the more socially acceptable way so that she can, you know, speak to people and, like, make friends and, oh.
Ah, yes. I dare say the Charybdis will be fine here on. Why don't you go and signal to Emmett Selk? Let him know that his arduous task is at an end.
She speaks language as a second language, literally. Cry counter increasing whenever a Meteon appears on screen. Yeah. God, I really... Oh god, what the fuck? Put that back. Go back. Put that back. There we go. I accidentally dragged that shit along. If I didn't know better, I'd say Emmett Selk is enjoying himself. Not that he'd ever deign to admit it. Wave to Emmett Selk. Hermes. It's flying. It's really flying, as if it were born to do so. Thank goodness. I'm not immune to pretty pink man. Yeah, me neither. Look, Belrali. Look how well the Charybdis flies. Also, I love that the voice actor from Meteon stumbles their words as well. And, like, makes it seem like they're really struggling. Like, they do a really good job of, like, convincingly making it seem like Meteon is struggling with speech. Through speech. It's wonderful. I am it! Hello! Emerging from his reverie, Emmett Selk notices you and begins to descend with the Charybdis. Hi, Pella. I love you. Hello. Bro, I love Undertale. I have no words to express my gratitude. Thanks to you, the Charybdis has learned to fly. Belrali and I could relax and have a pleasant chat. I'm sure you did. The creature needed some small assistance at first, but soon as it was flying more or less on its own. I doubt you will need to repeat the lesson. That was truly impressive! I witnessed it all from afar. The Charybdis flies! Indeed, with this, we've proven that even a creature with skewed etheric balance is capable of flight. Though we helped it to achieve this, the Charybdis is a herd animal. They may well aid their struggling kin in like fashion, if and when the need arises. Sandy, thank you so much for gifting a sub. Thank you. Thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you. Thank you. Keeping this in mind, I bid you continue observing them. If that is what you want. But if I may say so, rather than hoping an idealistic possibility comes to pass, would it not be simpler to have the concept adjusted? That way we could guarantee that anomalies such as this specimen are never born in the first place. That sounds like some eugenics shit, bro. Fuck you. As you wish, Chief, as you wish. Hermes. I'm fine, don't worry. Well, that concludes all of my present tasks. Let us return to Anagnorisis for now. I wonder if we're gonna meet Azim. If we meet Azim and, like, it's just our character but with, like, white hair. I'm gonna, like, fall off my... Pull up a second. Hang on a minute. I've never seen this concept before. Fascinating. It's like the Beauty and the Beast. And also a Bunny. Like a King Bunny. Whose 9S is this? Oh, of course it's Alpax. Oh, Raleigh is so pretty. Look at her. She's gorgeous. Honestly, knowing that gentle, kind Hermes becomes present-day Fandaniel. Yup. Yup. It really, yeah. It's really, it is definitely not the vibe. I must say. Hey, yo, someone invented the motorcycle. My favorite thing from this is the Azem's familiar bit, yeah. I just love the fact that, like, Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus both see us, and then are like... Emmett's just like, I'm just gonna ignore this. Like, Emmett's like, I don't have time for this shit. All the creations are happy. That makes me happy too. Now you've seen what I do. Was it everything you were expecting? I thoroughly enjoyed myself. At the end, most of all. Look at him in his little foo-foo-foo. Thank you for the regen, mysterious sky arrow. Yeah, Elidibus does not interact with anyone. The first thing we do is talk to Emmet I mean, no, the first thing we do is get seen by Emmett Selk. and then he forces us to interact with him. Or Hythlodaeus, rather, forces us to interact with him. What? Want to apologize for forcing me to help, do you? Save your breath. You didn't force me to do anything. I merely chose the most expeditious way to have done with an impediment to our business. Holy shit. A bubble. Tell me, Balrali, in the course of watching me, have you learned aught of value? Dynamis seemed promising. Oh yeah, the whole Akasha Dynamis thing. Dynamis, you say? Curious that such an obscure phenomenon should be of interest to you. Chief Hermes, what good fortune to find you here. Is something the matter? The Lacan, I'm afraid it's done it again. No sooner did we release one for observation than it set upon the nearby occupants, slaughtering them. Was the creature hungry or somehow provoked? I just fed them myself, and the occupants were keeping a wide berth. It is the nature of the Lycaon that is to blame, their innate viciousness. Temperament aside, it is an outstanding creation, perfect in form and function. Though it may not be suited for release, I have no doubt that the Bureau will accept its concept for preservation. In any case, there's no point in postponing the inevitable. Doros will revert them all once the paperwork is in order. Where is the scene of the incident? Lycaon. Just off the path to the 12 Wonders. Number 12 has appeared and my ears have pricked up. You should see it on the left. I don't know if Doris is still there, however. Hermes, wait! If this is part of his work, then I would observe. We follow. Wait, there's a quest. Blue. Blue. Actually, wait, I need to have a look at the currents. How many? Oh. I don't get any. I don't get to have ether currents yet. Blue quest, blue quest, blue quest. Suckles. I'm gonna suckles your duckles. Welcome, friend, to Agnoresis. I am Socles, and I manage this region under the authority of Chief Hermes, the head overseer of Elpis. And you are, how unusual, a soul-bearing familiar. A familiar must have a mission, and yet you offer no message and carry no cargo. Are you perhaps here for the purposes of observation? Yes, that must be it, in which case you need only mention my name to the Charmian, and she will gladly give you a tour of our domain. Soak it all in. Okay. I like the idea that we just, like, ran off. We just ran off. We just ran off and just, like, bumped into somebody. And now we're getting in on our own adventures. Charmian. Yes? Yes, what can I do for you? Valrali, is it? An overseer Socles wishes me to act as your guide. Oh. Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I'd be more than happy to show you around. I'm simply wondering why the overseer chose to send you to me, of all people. I haven't been here long myself, truth be told. Until quite recently, I was wholly engaged in a prolonged research project at the Academia Anida. Surely there are other, more experienced individuals who could provide a more comprehensive... This grumbling is hardly constructive now, is it? The task was given to me, and I will attempt to cover the most salient features of our facilities to the best of my abilities. After all, it's not every day that one is asked to indulge the curiosity of such a rare and fascinating visitor. You can commence the tour at this very moment if you like. Yes. Let's go. Let us begin. You know, rather than having me lecture you as we walk along, I think observing firsthand what we do here in Agnoresis would prove more beneficial. I'll point you in the right direction, and you can question my colleagues to your heart's content. Once we've completed a circuit, we can return and speak to Overseer Socles. Sockles these nuts! Highly Azim thing to do. Ratio, plus no life left to live, plus no fight left to fight, plus you're not the real Azim, plus you're cringe. Plus ratio, plus you're bald. Plus sundered. Blast! Brief explanation will suffice. Creatures are many and varied, but preside mainly over the plant life. Yes. Sometimes decades, tedious, perhaps yet necessary. Plants are capable of altering an entire habitat, and their presence as a food source has an enormous influence on the local wildlife. Zumi's lol emote is fantastic. Honestly, I need to get... I fucking... Ugh, I really wish I had partners so I could have more emotes. Ratio plus sundered plus you don't remember Hitler Deus. That's not the real Azim. Elpis. More like Elpis on these dick, Lamau. Who do we have here? Familiar of some kind, judging by your ethereal structure? Yes, that's me. I'm a familiar. Occupy the top of the food chain. Do not take kindly to intruders in their territory. Exceedingly hostile. While I am sure you are capable of defending yourself, no one appreciates a surprise tusk through the abdomen, eh? Yeah, I don't like being stabbed, actually. Bye, Gecko. Take care. A trick of the mind, nothing more. Seems familiar, the way you appear so astute and deliberate in your thinking. I should very much like to make an extended study of your composition and consciousness. Oh, do forgive my forwardness, it is my duty to chart the behavior of familiars, and I find it ever so diverting. Arcane servants are rarely permitted to roam the world at will, you see, but our research here is given special dispensation. Once the subjects are properly registered as concepts, of course. There are times when familiars are tasked with tending cattle, or must otherwise coexist with other living beings. Such projects are brought to me. I am responsible for observing and evaluating their potential capabilities. Ah, but of course, if Azim might grant us permission, then you could abide here for a few years while I analyze... And on that note, we must be really moving along. Step lively, Belorali. Oh god. Run away. This guy wants to study me for science. Ah, I see you've completed your tour. Almost, we spoke with those in charge of various facets of Agnoresis, but I thought it would be fitting to end this visit where it began, with you. Wow, that's my phone. Why are you not on silent? You sit down. Requires equal levels of passion and patience. I'm glad we could help further your worldly education. And I'm glad to see you enjoyed the experience, at least I hope you did. You are truly a masterpiece of creation. Only a soul-bearing familiar could demonstrate such robust cognitive and cogitative Were you perhaps designed to inspire others? I feel something special has been woven into your aura. Yeah, I mean, in a way, yes. You have an intriguing presence, to say the least. Please stay a while and share more of your thoughts with us. Yes, I second this invitation. In all the long years I've resided here, never have I encountered a unique entity, and one of Azim's son, no less. Ugh. Give me the ether current. Alright, well that's another quest line to come back and do later. Where is it? Ether currents. There's always so many. Look at how few there are in fucking Shadowbringers. Look at how few there are everywhere else, and yet Endwalker's like, go and collect 50. Hate it here. Oh wait, oh yeah, I forgot we're supposed to be chasing down like a predator of some kind. Oopsie. Oops. No. No. Also love that this part, this area's music refrains the the Ohio, the Ohio bit of the Endwalker theme, which is also associated with Charlian because Charlian and Amarot are the fucking same. Stop it! Go away, stupid fucking mushroom tree. Root of the problem. The root of the problem is you being alive. Simply die. Oh no. Fearsome beast, this Lycaon. But where is it now? The Occupede is no easy prey. With its hooves and horns, it was designed to be formidable even on land. Yet they didn't stand a chance against the Lycaon. It's heavy. Hermes' pain. Oh, Hermes, it's okay. The lacerations and burns are unmistakable. Lycaon was indeed responsible. But the creature is nowhere to be seen. Doros must have taken it away. Man makes his base at the 12 Wonders. I shall go and seek him out there. Emmett Selk and I will search the area for good measure, just to make sure the Lycaon did not escape. My thanks. Let us meet at the 12 Wonders when you have finished. I will go on ahead. Please follow with Belrally. Come, come, it's down this path and over the bridge. Hi, Jay. I assume there's like a bridge that I can cross. Aha! I knew they invented bridges. How am I feeling about MSQ? Oh, great. I'm feeling great, Jay. I'm feeling fantastic. Feeling brilliant, super cool. No! Go away! You suck! Yeah, you know, I've only gone on one... Actually, I mean, yeah, I've only gone about, you know, about 15 minutes so far ranting about Emmett Selk and how people mischaracterize him. So, you know. How did I feel about the 83 solo duty? I thought it was cool. I liked it. I thought it was a nice grounder to show how far we've come and how like kind of terrifyingly powerful we are. Which I thought was pretty neat. I liked it in terms of a gameplay thing. I thought it was cool that it was like that it kind of knew that you just run into a fight first thing and nearly die. The whole body swap thing didn't feel great. But like in a good way, you know. Yeah. It was uncomfortable, but it was meant to be, you know. And I fucking love Grahatia stepping up and being like, "Hey, who are you? Like, who do you think you are?" Yeah, fill me with panic. But overall, I liked it. I thought it was good. It made me feel a little, like, after I'd finished it, it made me feel a little weird. Like, I felt a little bit weird. But, Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, I guess. I don't know. It was fine. It was fine, I guess. The amount of Graha going Exarch mode in this X-Pack so far has been a joy to see. Really into that. Very cool. Especially during the second part of Thavnir. Keep right aside in order to proceed with quest objectives. Leave Meteon behind by entering a different area. Yeah. Yo, I have this one. Ah, shit. Yo, I love these guys. Look. I have one of these too. Fonts. Mine doesn't have wings, though. Mine's less cool because it doesn't have wings. Made you feel dread. Oh, yeah. I tried to be a top was cute. Oh my god, shut up. Bottoms be like, sees a guy act confidently. OMG, top energy. I don't even, like, buy into any of that shit, but I just call people bottoms because I know it gets people riled. Because everyone else seems to think that that word has meanings that it just doesn't have. You do have similar hair. Ah, so this dark-haired man is definitely him. Need long blonde hair. We call someone a bottom react wildly, that just means they're in denial, but it doesn't, because being a bottom is not anything. Being a bottom is top and bottom is a logistical thing, people. I'm telling you. It's not a fucking read of character. It's a logistics thing. Fucking people, I swear to God. So tired. Yeah, top slash bottom does not equal dom slash sub, and not enough people get it. Raha is a bottom though, right? And it's like, why? Like, why? Like, what makes you say that? Is it the fact that he's cute and sometimes meek? Like... Like, it was funny in 2019, but it's actually just really annoying now. Didn't realize you two had decided to help me search for Doris. Thank you. You're in charge of the Lycaons, I believe. Where are they now? Didn't you make a joke about him pegging him before? Yes. Yes. I did. Because I would... Yes. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with me being annoyed that people constantly fucking make assumptions about people's sexual, like, preferred sexual position based on the way they act? I made the joke about pegging Graha because that is how I would like to fuck Graha. That was me projecting one of my own sexual fantasies onto a fictional character. That has nothing to do with me being like, I need people to stop just throwing the word top and bottom around whenever they see anyone act confidently. Like... Because as someone who acts very confident, as someone who acts and is very confident, and has a generally large presence, people get way too comfortable about making assumptions about the way I do sex. Which is, surprisingly, none of your fucking business. Once I've submitted my report, I'll see them reverted without delay. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, or that anyone's a bad person for making these jokes. I'm just saying I'm just bored of the joke. I'm just bored of the joke, to be honest. It's a boring joke. It's been going for about 2 years. Go on to the 14. What brings you here? Nothing you need concern yourself with, as you were. We've heard the news that a Lycaon slaughtered Okabadabakaba. Yeah, it's getting weird now because there's a lot of 13 to 15-year-olds participating in it. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's become like common vernacular on the internet, and that's why I don't like it anymore. Because it used to be like a thing specific to like either kink or to like gay communities, and now it's like words that people use synonymously with like confident and meek and shy, and it's just it's weird to me, especially using it like really publicly all of the time. Like, I know I'm friends with Shen, who, you know, has a lot of, you know, like, there's a lot of, like, memes around that whole vernacular in her community, but, like, that doesn't mean you can just, that does not mean you can just come into my chat and just start throwing that shit around. I know it's a mature stream, but, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Occupeats. Yeah, probably. Go do your homework, it needs to be submitted and readable. That's one of my... That is... Okay, that is a good joke, though. The... Fucking... I most recently made the submitted and readable joke with Jason Victor from Arcane. Where Jason's like, for God's sake, Victor, stop saying that I look submissive and readable. We need to make sure our Hextech research is submitted and readable. Their abnormal aggression and exceptional strength makes for a highly problematic combination. It matters not where they are released. Lycaons would threaten other species and upset the natural order. Could it be that the specimens observed are an outlier? Highly unlikely. We've created a good many of them, all exhibited the same tendency. Even when we used Kairos to begin with a fresh slate, Their behavior was unchanged. Kairos? A memory reconfiguration system. The Chief himself created it. It allows us to erase or alter memories, that we may observe creations in different environmental conditions without needing to remake them from scratch. Quite impressive, and potentially dangerous. Depending on the intensity of the etheric emissions, Astaroth may wish to have words with you. Rest assured, I've kept all values within prescribed limits, and to prevent misuse, its applications are limited to those authorized by the Chief Overseer. Do not misunderstand. To manipulate a subject's memories is an intrusive act I deeply abhor, but it is still preferable to execution. Come now, Chief. Let's not be so melodramatic. This is Final Fantasy XIV. It's literally a melodrama. What do you mean, don't be melodramatic? What was born of ether is simply being reduced to its original state. I know the distinctions concern you, but we mustn't lose sight of the bigger picture, making rational choices for the sake of a more prosperous star. If a creation cannot be properly studied with even with the aid of Kairos, we remake it. If a creation is deemed a detrimental existence, we unmake it. It is all for the greater good, and none question the necessity of such routine processes. No one questions it. I understand these things, I do. I would never think to unleash a clear and undeniable threat onto the world. Yet insignificant though their individual lives may be next to all creation, it is all the Lycaons have. Before we seal their fates, we owe it to these beings to exhaust all options, to ensure that nothing has been overlooked. If you insist, let me provide you with a full report, and we may take it from there. Would it be possible for us to attend the discussion, that Selk may better carry out his duties? By all means. Pray show them to the meeting room. Hopefully we'll find a voiced cutscene in there, so that streamer doesn't have to keep reading out all of the dialogue. It's da baby. So, who wants to talk about how Hermes becomes Fandaniel? Because I'm kind of seeing it a little bit. Not because of a lack of love for things. It's very clear it's the opposite. He very clearly, you know, adores the world that he lives in and all of its creatures that he creates. But he feels things very intensely. He feels things very intensely. Very, very intensely. You know? We wonder if extreme love could perhaps one day give way to extreme hate. Because that's kind of the trajectory. That's the trajectory that I feel like he's going. Is this, you know, this cascade of love gives way to a torrent of hatred that yeah, consumes him. He feels things very strongly, which means he feels love very intensely, but also feels hate very, very intensely. To man, other beings are just things to be used and controlled, like magic. That's what Hermes told me once. See, there it is. He hates the fact that this is the way that his society treats the things that they create. Want to go against the Unsundered. I mean, he just wanted to be like fucking done with it, I think. I can see how somebody like this would end up just, you know, after seeing everything go so horribly wrong and being tethered by, you know, being tethered by the other, like the Unsundered. It just kind of snap and decide actually he just wants to be fucking done with all of it. And you know what's great? He's getting exactly what he wants. Yeah, where he's so... I see a man exhausted by how much he cares compared to everybody else. I see a man exhausted by the fact that he cares so much and no one else really seems to. Being Amon, being kind of tossed. Oh yeah, I mean, being Amon, he's basically doing the same thing that he's doing now, but evil and fucked up. Like, being the chief scientist for, you know, the Allagan Empire, he's basically just a chief scientist now, but for the Amaratines. So he kind of ends up just, yeah, he ends up just doing the same thing that he was with the Allagans, but, you know, fucking horrible. And not for, Keely, not for the preservation or enrichment of the world, but literally just for, like, hedonistic curiosity. You know? Where the Amaratines are like, this thing is evil, or like, this thing is a threat and should therefore just be completely eradicated without a second thought. And then the Allagans were, I'm going to, like, twist this man's brain around. You know, I'm going to twist this dude's brain stem and make a little pretzel out of it and just see what happens. You know, just because it's fun. And just to satiate my own curiosity, I'm going to play with life. I think he's, you see a man here who knows how much good he could do. Like, he knows how much good he could do. The opportunity to do this good is taken away from him by the fact that the world becomes fucked. But he manages to find a way to, you know, maybe perhaps do the same thing again, but then can't. And that just, he's like, I'm so fucking sick of this world, it's fucking horrible, no one gives a shit, and now, you know, if it doesn't matter how much I care, no one else seems to, and I can't do it all by myself, so fuck it. What if I just burned it all down? The ancients are like, this kills whatever it sees, so all in all its death is less bad than the potential damage it would cause. What's the most we can torment this guy before his soul falls apart? Yeah, literally. Hang on, I need to pee, I'll be right back. One thing you're personally unsure of is if the ancients actually died regularly. Like, they mentioned something about the council. Well, I think it's less they die, and I think it's more of a... Well, they do die, but they don't view it as the end. They view it as a... or at least the Convocation members view their existence as another beat on the drum of the universe. You know what I mean? Yeah, their retirement, yeah, is like when they fulfilled their purpose, and then they can go and, you know, join back to where they came from. It's quite a pagan belief, really. Or perhaps reincarnation, like quite a Buddhist inspired belief. Either way, they believe that the Convocation, at least the Convocation members, or rather the way that Hythlodaeus and Emet-Selch describe it, is that they believe that their essence is eternal, and but their form isn't. So they are given form, and they are given the freedom to walk among the world as something kind of separate from it. And then once their time is up, once they've done what they set out to do, whether they believe that that's what they were put on the star for, or they think that there was, or once they believe, you know, or the purpose that they believe they've carved out for themselves, then they choose to forego their existence because, you know, they've done what they were put there for, or they've, you know, they feel like, basically, like, they feel like they have to be of service to the star as a whole, like, and once they are no longer being of, like, for the privilege of being able to walk among it, like, for the privilege of being able to walk the soil and breathe the air and see the sights and hear the sounds, they have to be of service to the earth. And then they, like, that is what the kind of the ancients believe that they are given form specifically for. And as their way of giving thanks back to the earth that gave them life, they provide their services by, you know, doing creation magics, manipulating ether, you know, making the world a better place. And then once that's done, they no longer, you know, they're no longer able to pay back the world for the privilege of being upon it. So they go back and they join it, and they rejoin as part of the world again. You know? In very much the same way that that like some modern pagan beliefs are, like, because we're all made out of the same, you know, the atoms and, like, the matter that makes us up is the same, like, is not necessarily, you know, it's never destroyed or created, it's all just, like, transferred into different forms. You know, that, like, we're all made of stardust, we're all made of dirt and the earth. Like, we all come from the earth, and back to the earth we shall return, or back to the universe we shall return. You know, it's a very, yeah. It's not so much a cycle as it is just, like, your existence as a person is a small, tiny blip of your, like, of the timeline of the universe that you are actively a participant in, whether you're alive or not. And that's, I think, what the Amarantians believe in. But instead of stardust, they believe it with, like, ether. Instead of matter, it's ether. And I don't know if I don't actually know of any real world, like, established religions that have this, because there's, like, you can almost divide religions around, like, how they view what happens after you die, because that's, like, one of the main things religions in the world deal with is like what happens when you die, right? What's after, what's before. And so with things like Buddhism, you know, your existence as a human being is just another spoke on the wheel of your existence. And in your next life, like when you die as a human, you will then be reincarnated as something else, usually something relating to the kind of karma that you've built up during your life as a human. And then it's only once you reach enlightenment and you truly become one with the rest of the universe that you actually join back into it. So in a way, Buddhism kind of has that, but like reincarnation is like the steps on the wheel, or is like the steps to reach that. It's like, you know, if you don't reach enlightenment in this life, you'll get another chance somewhere down the line, kind of thing. But like, I don't know of any. And then there are other religions which deal with, you know, death in the way of like, you know, there was a time before you existed, and then you exist, and then after you exist, you are taken somewhere else. Like, you are taken somewhere else. You know, you leave your body behind, and then you go on to the afterlife in a different world, a different realm, which is, you know, what, everything from like ancient Egyptian faith to, you know, Christian faith or Abrahamic religions and stuff. I don't know of anywhere it's just where it's like this. It's literally just like, you know, we all come from the earth and then to the earth we return. Mainly because that belief generally reads to me as very pagan, and paganism is like a whole mishmash of like hundreds and hundreds of different beliefs, some of which are massively conflicting because pagan was just the name given to anything that wasn't an Abrahamic religion. So it's like hard to tell. It's hard to tell if there is more, if it's like, you know, that's more of a reincarnation thing. I don't think it is, though, because they don't come back. They don't come back, you know? They admit that, like, they have this very limited tenure where they are allowed by the good grace of the star to walk among it and view it as a separate entity, and then they go back and join back into it. I don't think that's not really reincarnation, because reincarnation implies that you become something else that is separate from the universe's own fabric again. But they don't seem to believe that. They seem to more believe that, like, no, once you die, that's it. Like, once you retire as an ancient, that's it. You're done. Like, your essence returns to the star. And, you know, and you go back to whatever form you took before you existed. Death is not necessarily the end, but more rather, life is not all there is. They're aware of the live stream. Yeah, well, that's the thing. They go back to the live stream, right? Like, they go back to the ethereal sea. Like, that's just... And then they don't come back from that. Like you get taken, you get pulled from the live stream and into the world, and then you return to it. That's like how... That's the impression I get of, like, what death is to these guys. From a faith point of view, anyway. Whether that's how it actually works is a whole different thing entirely, but in terms of a spirituality kind of thing that these guys have, it's like they are actually quite spiritual. Leave me to on your care again. Of course, I will literally defend her with my life. Not aware of how Amarotines fuck, can't say how they are reborn. Fair enough. I mean, I've seen a lot of drawings of how Amarotines and Ancients fuck, so I think I'm a pretty good expert on the subject. Want to cheer him up with a flower. Hermes likes flowers the most of all the creations in Elpis. Most creations are expected to be interesting or beautiful or strong, better in some way. But flowers are different. They are designed to suit our emotions, what we feel and want to convey. Hermes likes that. I can't make flowers, so I'll search for one, and I want you to search with me. Let's start here at the 12 Wonders. Cool. Are we gonna pick up an Elpis flower? Is that what we're gonna do? Have I tuned to this? I did. Cool. They're big and bright. I love them. But they might be too bright. You have to think of the recipient. That's what Hermes said. Oh shit, I'm gonna click that link. Yeah, let's go. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna... Cran your neck to look for flowers. No flowers. If there were apples, we could have covered them in syrup. Let's head outside next. Don't worry, we won't wander far. Okay. Like, let's just go pick the Elpis flower, okay? The Elpis. Elpis in your shoes. Hee-hee-hoo-hoo. An array of beautiful flowers grow in the bed, their mix of colors forming a pattern. Oh. These would be better for Hermes, but they're hedged in. That means we shouldn't touch them. They're either under observation or they're poisonous. Any other place should be fine, though. Let's keep looking. Familiar plant. Yo, I'm a familiar. That's like me. The oddly shaped flower is mesmerizing in its undulations. Oh, a conion. A flower that can move. When Hermes isn't looking, it shot seeds at him. Not a good gift, maybe. Yeah, I can relate to that. I can relate to that. My early days in this game can definitely relate to just being randomly killed by one of those fucking flowers. Junction. A junction isn't a flower bell rally. What are you doing? Over there, bell rally. Something big, huge. This thing. Malodorous grass. Oh no. No, it's got bad breath. A marble-like creature before you. It's an Adonis. The things on its head around its mouth look like petals, but the flowers are the orbs on its head. When Hermes inspected it, it swallowed him up. It didn't leave room for days. What do you think, Morale? Would he like it? It's probably not the good sort of memory. I love just the chaos that Hermes gets himself into. And just how Meteon's like, yeah, Hermes is extremely traumatized by the experience at the hand of this thing. Seeing Hermes hanging upside down in the tree was probably the best thing I've ever seen in my life, actually. It's definitely a high point for this game. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Look out, Meteon! Lush green fields stretch out before you, ending where the sky begins. Oh, there's nothing. The shiny thing over there, what could it be? I do not see any shinies. Shiny object. It's an Elpis flower. Finally. Oh, Elpis flowers, they're here too. Hermes likes and dislikes them at the same time. Like me, they're enteleckies. Like me, they feel his pain and turn dark. Found it, game's done. Yeah, easy. That's only for Hermes though. For others, they're always white and bright. Sag. I've been plagued by doubt and anxiety. Love it when they give me lore-accurate dialogue options for my not the Warrior of Light character. Has been in a dark place since before he created me. He needs to know that he isn't there alone, that others are sad too. Oh. No. Bro, how are you gonna make Fan Daniel of all people a complex character? Hate my life. Hate it. Screw this. Ugh. Leave me alone, big fucking chicken. Ishikawa fist fighting anyone who tries to just make a single one-note character. It's like, hey, I heard you were trying to make a one-note character in here. And this just beats the shit out of you. What the fuck is Showa 2? Oh, hey. I'll do the fucking blue quests later, man. I just want to do story. I want to do story.
Hermes!
Oh, you were waiting for me.
You've finished talking?
She's so cute.
Yes, we've come to a decision. My thanks for keeping Meteon company. MSQ and Hythlodaeus have already retired to their rooms.
You mean their one room that they both
There
share?
is room for you too, if you would follow me.
Wait! I want to show you something first.
My alert's not working. Follows and stuff just aren't, like, appearing. But thank you for the follows anyway, everybody. Everyone who's followed. Unless I'm just, like, not hearing. I'm just, like, they're working and I'm just not hearing it. Because I'm very dumb.
Elpis flowers?
Go on. not the only one, Hermes. Others feel sad too. You're not alone.
I see Mission has shared much with you. May we talk a moment?
A tiny.
I do not think it wrong that we live for the star, that we strive to make it a better place.
I tried to like have a reaction to his face, but I just felt sad, you know? I just saw his eyes and I was like, man, you're fucking tired, aren't you? You're so tired.
And yet, in carrying out my duties here, there are times when I am plagued by doubt. Do you recall what Hythlodaeus said when we first spoke of my nomination? Death is the privilege of those who have fulfilled their purpose, a choice they embrace of their own free will, and when they depart, it is always beautiful. Perhaps it is, but only for man. Creations that he deems useless are discarded with nary a second thought. Some scarcely born into the world, afforded a handful of breaths before life and potential are abruptly extinguished.
He sees the hubris of that. And yeah, why is death only a ceremony for us? Why not for everything else too? I think he's seeing that perhaps the Amarotines or the Ancients don't view life as sacred as he does.
We make an effort to spare them the pain. But they sense what awaits. Rage and anguish and cower and fear. And it is not beautiful. Yet no one cares. No one. So fixated are we upon the duty that we do not pause to question the method. Pain and suffering, confusion and despair, writ plain in the eyes of those poor creatures. Yet no one sees. We turn a blind eye and carry on in blissful ignorance. Not amiss. And always, always the blossoms shine pure and white. A contradiction so blatant I could scream, want to scream. How can you all accept this aberration? Then I wonder, am I the aberration for thinking thus? And I am filled with dread. But now I know I'm not alone. Not the only one for whom the flowers weep. I won't ask what you thought as you kneeled beside the Alpes, or if you only did it at Meteon's insistence. Nevertheless, I thank you. To know that you too have experienced suffering is a comfort.
You know what this reminds me of? Emmett Selk describing his one perfect world as a land free of discourse and conflict. Like, nah, everyone was just ignoring what was wrong. There was conflict all over the place. He just couldn't see it because he was just too proud, I guess. Him and the Emiratians just too proud. Convocation just didn't see it. Or didn't think it was wrong. Thought it was fine. And yet here we have Fandaniel, the one who would end the world rather than get it back, because to him it's exactly the same. To him, getting his world back, the rejoining would just mean a continuation of this. This ignorant stumbling through and execution of very ruthless science in the name of making the star a better place, treating their own lives as sacred but not the lives of everything else. I think he sees the world, this world, as not worth it in the end. He just doesn't want that back. But he knows that if the Convocation have their way, it'll just go back to this. This thing that he existentially disagrees with. And then he probably fucking preferred the goddamn Alligans, because at least they were honest. At least they were honest about what they were doing. You know? Actually, no, maybe he sees the Alligans and the Ancients as very similar. And he's like, fuck it, like it doesn't matter if they're ancients or mortals, they're still just all the fucking same, you know? They still create and destroy and kill and consume without a second thought, and only ever treat their own lives as actually sacred and important rather than the lives of everything else. And so what's the point in getting it back? He would rather just destroy it all. He'd rather just burn it all down.
Indeed. Difficult though it may be, I must endeavor to be strong like you. The stars in the heavens. Know you what they are?
Me.
Though it is too far to tell, each glittering light could be a world not unlike Aetheris. A world filled with life. So many stars, so many lives. For us, there may be no higher purpose than to live for our world. But what of the other living beings out there? What is it that gives their lives meaning? That drives them day after day after day? To pose that question to our undiscovered cousins, I created beings of Dynamis, who can traverse the vast emptiness between the stars. Meteon and her sisters. Sisters. She has a great many of them, and they have already departed on their journey, traveling to one star and then the next in search of life. As one might expect, exploration on such a grand scale is rife with difficulties, and thus far I've naught to show for it.
Well, I
But
mean,
have
there's
faith that we
always
will make
dragons.
some manner of discovery ere long.
There's always dragons, you know?
And when we do, I should be glad to share our findings with you, in gratitude for your kindness. It's getting rather late. We had best find our beds. It would not do for both of us to be sleep-deprived on the morrow. Come, Meteon. Let us head back.
All right.
So cute. She's so little. What are we doing here? You know? Like, what are we doing here? What's the... We must know that, like, this probably won't change anything. History will still happen, because we're not actually back, or are we? Hard to tell. What do you think, Emmett? Prodigal Familiar returns. And after causing all manner of trouble while we were in our meeting, I'm sure. Figure out how and why. Yeah, I know, but it's... You know, it just sucks. It sucks because I know all of this is gonna go. I know that all of this is just gonna fucking disappear. It's all gonna be broken and destroyed. And left in ruins. Like, man, what are we doing here? You know... Were you able to get some rest? Please don't hesitate to let us know if you're feeling tired. I worry we might exhaust your scarce reserves of ether. I'm glad Hermes saw the flowers. Thank you, Belrali. It will help, I hope. Today will be difficult for him. An all too brief interlude, perhaps, but it is time I attend to my next task. As Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus are aware, we've reached a verdict regarding the fate of the Lycanos. Lycaons. 7 were created for observation, and all 7 must be unmade. Doros has followed the correct protocols, and as Chief Overseer I can find no fault in his judgment. The Lycaons would disrupt the natural order, ravaging and consuming other species until they themselves starve and perish. They cannot be released into the wild, and they cannot be allowed to remain here in Elpis. I intend to petition the Bureau of the Architect to have the concept preserved as a restricted purpose hazardous life form. Hythlodaeus has pledged to support me in this endeavour. Yet whatever the Bureau decides, the existing Lycaons have served their purpose. Doros has already isolated the creatures and is preparing to carry out the necessary measures. I will join him forthwith. It is my duty to witness the conclusion to this study. If you are resolved, then we have but to accompany you. Of course, let us be off then. We return to the main aisle. I kind of like doing Hippotho. You a doctor by any chance? Do that stuff later. I like doing Hermes' voice. Hermes has quite a nice voice to do. It's very nasal. It's spoken entirely through the nose and the throat. The nose and the front of the throat. Very nice. Spoken through the chin. It's not being an ass, is Fan Daniel. The zone is full of NPC names that are old Greek philosophers. Oh, there's lots of references to old philosophers. Like that one, that name is probably a reference to Hippocrates, for example. I think it's great. I think it's great even when he is Fan Daniel, when he's being all, I'm a birthday boy. Oh, I'm the birthday boy. Whoa. I want you all to die because I'm the birthday boy. I'm just a little lad who wants berries and cream. I had them bound with ethereal shackles, but they became frenzied, even more so than usual, and became free. I was able to stop 4, then the other 3 escaped. Whoa. Penis tree. I see them. 2 have taken to the air above the 12 Wonders. The last is up ahead, lurking in the fields. Fields. You and Belrally handle that one. The pair in the sky you can leave to me. This is how it must end, and so be it. I am a birthday boy. I want you all to die. I want everyone to die, and everything with it. I'm the birthday boy. But Hermes... The Lycaons must be reverted. I would spare you their pain, and mine. This is my burden, not yours, but if you're intent on helping, then please, follow my lead. Yo, what's this? Techno? Automatically search for new... Wait, not moving. For new people. Unless they're still... They'll be searching. Oh, is the party... Yeah, it's the party members. Sorry, I'm just helping someone with some trouble they're having. Ow. Ow. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, someone's having trouble with a dungeon. I appreciate your help and lament that it is necessary. There it is, our quarry, within striking distance at present. But if it feels present, what? If it feels threatened, it may well flee beyond our reach. Here's my plan. You will approach slowly, in full view, and draw the Lycaon's attention. Now I warn you, its abilities are as fiery as its temperament. Once it spots you, it will unleash orbs of flame. But fear not. By my measure, you are more than equal to the task. Withstand the onslaught, sorry, I can't speak. And that will give me time to catch it unawares. Ready? Then let us begin. Hi, Joes. Yeah, I'm in the cool area. I did it. Oh, no! Oh, I'm so glad that they made this fucking spell just a circle AoE instead of what it was before. I did it. Face down the Lechion and its balls. I did it. Oh, I have to stand here.
Now.
Yo, cool staff. God, I love that new sheathing animation. It's so good. Oh,
Forgive me.
Hermes.
Please, forgive me. May
Please.
you and your kin find peace. Wherever your souls may drift in the underworld, may you find tranquil seas. Be not forgotten. In concept endure. To reclaim form and one day live again. Serve not the star, or any purpose save your own. Live again, if that be your desire. Hate, if that be your want. We are worthy. But leave your suffering behind. Lay down your burdens, be born anew. Fly high, fly free.
Yeah, that's completely right, yeah.
Join the convocation, Hermes. You do not belong here.
Leave to replace another. To be replaced. It changes nothing.
Oh, I fucking knew
Tell
it,
me.
dude.
Do you think it right that we sacrifice all these lives for the sake of the star? And when the star has reached perfection, what then? If all who are satisfied choose to die, shall we all die in satisfaction? I do not know. Were I to take up the seat of Fandaniel, it would be tantamount to approving my predecessor's death. I do not know if it is right. And to be torn by such thoughts, I do not know if I am fit to represent mankind.
Hermes! Please don't be angry. It hurts so.
Forgive me. If you would still consider me in spite of everything, I beg some time to gather my thoughts. Meanwhile, Hythlodaeus, I fear I must trouble you to attend to the others.
'Tis no trouble at all. Take as long as you require.
And you, my friend, I pray you find that which you seek.
I expect we have some few matters to discuss. Shall we return to the 12 Wonders for a time?
Aye.
Hmm. Game sucks. Give it up for number 12. Give it up for number 12. Give it up, everybody. Number 12. Hythlodaeus is the anime mom haircut. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Oh, you're right. Just say you mean Edward, the Elric brothers' mom, and move on. Shut up. You're right. I know you're right. The other Lycaons have been taken care of. The incident is resolved, and life in Elpis continues as normal, or ends, as the case may be. Oh yeah, and the AOT mom as well, you're right. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well deserved the rest, there is a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves us. Yet never has a departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience such torment? Wow. Oh man. What? What? You're about to find out. You're about to find out, Emmett. I don't know the answer he's searching for if it was within our power to give it. But I believe he would make a fine Fandaniel, and that if he rejects us out of hand, we will all be lesser for it. It's like, Hades, my man. It's funny you say that, Hades. It's funny you say that, Mr. Selk. It's funny. It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that, buddy. Is you're about to... Are you ready to feel the wrath of a god, kid? Because you're about to... Where to now? If there is anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hey, yo, cat girl butt. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist, then allow me to remain your humble guide. And what of you, Belrali? Will you come along with us? Wonderful. Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis and see what new encounters there are to be had. If you would follow me, we will head first back towards Agnorosis. Agnorosis. What? What's happened for me in this zone so far? Met Emmett Selk. Cried so hard I nearly threw up. Elpis. Found out, saved axolotls from tree. Did things with, went buddying around, saw Vanat for a split second. Yeah. That's it. And then did everything that just happened as well. Yeah, with Space Dog. Yeah, with Argos. Didn't we part ways with Hermes not far from here? Given the size of Elpis, I expect our crowds will pass again. Our paths will cross again before long. The up dog. Yeah, the up dog. It's the dog that takes you up. From here, we follow the path northwards to Notaneus. There we will find one of the Neas, which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need use of the device together once, and henceforth you shall have leave to use it freely. Shall we? Flabbergasted that Argos has a branch in Elpis. Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. Free. Dude, why did I just look at Twitter? Fucking hell. Dying. I just looked at Twitter for like a split second and it's just my whole entire brain just fell out of my goddamn face. Belrali is as tall as the boys. Hell yeah. Just about. Just about. Just about. Yeah, just about. I just think that sometimes maybe on Twitter people should just leave some thoughts like not expressed. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there are things that you can and should just keep to your damn self, you know, and maybe not post it on Twitter. You know. This Neos would take us to Kalimelios Zephyros, the western island. That's it, right there, looming large over us. Step this way and we can soon admire the view from above. Freedom of thought can give rise to... Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah. Maybe you just shouldn't. Like, yeah, maybe just, you know, you just have a thought. Maybe you shouldn't tell Twitter about it. You know? Maybe that's okay. Maybe it's alright to just leave things...
I present to you Kalimelios Zephyros.
Well, goddamn, you didn't tell me this is a fucking voiced cutscene, Hitlerdeus. Jesus.
Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos.
Oikos.
Right then. Let's begin by... Well, an Arraius. How delightful.
Ah! Hello, little guy. Look at this little dude. I fucking love it. Poiton Oikos.
What, pray tell, is that?
What is that? Hey, yo, that's King Shark.
That's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago.
Yo. That's King Shark from
Sharks
Suicide
are
Squad.
among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox. Consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact. And then a
Where the fuck
someone
did this...
thought to bestow it with flight. Another, superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was
Where'd the
getting absurd.
subtitles fucking go?
Part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end, I couldn't deny their passion. And here we are.
Banat.
That was too close. Are you unharmed?
Banat.
Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
JPW does war sugoi.
Benar, that we should meet you here.
Venat! I don't fucking want Venat's hair, are you kidding? I fucking knew it!
As I mentioned earlier,
I knew
better
it was
part of
you.
The convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work.
I'm sure that pisses you off greatly.
Venar is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
It has been a while, Hithridaeus.
Oh, okay.
You look well.
The Venat was Azem, but not anymore. Okay. Fucking knew it. Add this to the fucking Max is right again tally. Of just like, yeah, I fucking knew it. I knew it. I knew it was fucking Venat. That the Lady of Light was Venat. I fucking knew it. Easy. Easy. Tick one more on the Max is right chart. Tick.
Less so, Emmett Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number.
When you started talking about it in spoiler chat, I was like, how? Honestly, it was just an educated guess.
A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
It was more of an educated guess. Like, it was just more of an educated guess. Local pastime is razzing Emmett Selk. I'm not a wizard, I'm a witch.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is she, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Did Azim destroy the One Ring?
Oh, you know I am.
Oh my god. So this is the fourth member of the quadruple.
Now then, you are?
Hi, I'm Azim. Hi, Mom. I mean, 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 Mom. I mean.
I say, have you perchance come from the future?
No, 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 of course not. No. Of course not. Of course I didn't do that. No.
I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you. Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
World-saving kind,
A
Hythlodaeus.
traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether. Primals, you say? But I'm not familiar with such beings. But if they enthrall by warping the balance of ether, then yes, the magic would afford you a measure of protection.
So where does the name Hydaelyn come from? Because that just means that Venat is Hydaelyn. Straight up.
I gather from your question that you are not ignorant to its presence.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
Maybe it's like... Maybe it's a title. Maybe it is just a title. I don't know. I mean, where did the name Zodiac come from? Where did the name Zodiac come from? Where does any of this thing, where do any names come from?
What is
They're all
it?
made up.
Are you unable to speak of the matter?
Wait, are the fucking 12?
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
Who are the 12? Does the 12 include Vinar, maybe?
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting. I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest. Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself. As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
I fucking love just the fearful expressions that the wall has.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos.
Poiton Oikos. Poiton Oikos.
We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to, and quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
So if Heidelin just is Venat, like, Venat and Heidelin are one and the same, like, they're the same entity, the same consciousness. How does that fucking work? And who was Zodiac? God. Bernard is the heart of... Oh, okay. Right, I see. I see. Bernard is the heart of Heidelin. And I guess the rest of Heidelin is everyone else that gave, or that sacrificed themselves, or that gave their faith to give Heidelin form. Still, though, it's specifically Venat's magic, she says. Rather than it being Heidelin's. I don't know. I have thoughts about this. I need a sec to get them all straight because I can't quite filter them all properly. Because yeah. But like, okay. I fucking love her. Basically, is what I'm getting at here. I love her. Just the idea of the very like the very center of the god of everything that is responsible for all of everything being just this very like kind but also very funny woman. Like she's so personable. Like she's so personable. She's so human, you know? It just feels weird. It feels like I'm meeting a celebrity. Do you know what I mean? It feels like I'm meeting like a mega celebrity and just realizing that they're just like an ordinary person. You know? That's kind of how it feels. Like when we first met Zodiac on the moon, or we first saw Zodiac on the moon, I felt like I was seeing like a celebrity at like a concert, like on stage. You know? Whereas now I'm like meeting them in the street. You know, and they've just invited me for coffee. You know? Like it's really, it's a little bit surreal. Like I knew it was gonna happen at some point, and like my thoughts of Vinat basically being Hydaelyn, like basically being to Hydaelyn what Elidibus is to Zodiac, you know, meant that I was still the same. But I just, yeah, it is, weird. Anyway, I gotta go, because I have D&D. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all later, I guess. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm sorry, I'm having a lot of feelings, and I don't know quite what to do with any of them. But I'm gonna send you all over to my friend Poya, cause she's streaming right now. She's doing leveling, so you guys go away. Go leave me alone. I need to be alone with my thoughts of the massive crush I've just developed on Vinat. And also just how much I love her already. And also how guilty I feel about doubting Hydaelyn now. About like doubting Hydaelyn. I feel kind of guilty about it now, having met the heart. Just go away. I'm done. Goodbye.